Hey friends, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for joining me for stories 26 and 27 in my December daily album. Hey everyone, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for hanging out with me. This is December Daily's 2024 album, Volume 2, and I'm working on stories 26 and 27. Story number 26 is going to be all about going to my in-laws' house and staying there for a few days, and all the time we got to spend with Nora's younger cousins and Matt's youngest brother and wife. And I am going to speed up the camera and continue doing this voiceover. I knew that I wanted to use this, greenery grid paper, this pattern paper with all the pretty leaves on it, to tell a story that was going to have a bunch of photos. And so I had pre-selected as many photos as I could that would make sense for this story that I took while we were at Kit and Tully's house. So Kit is Tully's wife. Tully is Matt's youngest brother. And they have two kids, Sutton, who is 3, something like that, 3.5, 4. And TJ, Tully Jr., we call him TJ or Jr., who is just a baby. So I picked, like I said, a bunch of photos, and then I ended up trimming them down even more. And then I just picked a whole bunch of red stars, like different types of stars. My main thing was that I wanted them all to be red. And so I picked some of the wood veneer stars, and I wanted them all to be the same size as well. And then some of these plastic stars, which are from last year, I think, the December Daily Kit. Oh, wait, no, maybe the year before even. So I have a couple of those as well. And I trimmed the paper so that I used all of it. So on the right side, I'm going to use the full outside the page protector size, which is 7 by 8.25. And then on the left, it's 4 by 8.25. So it's the remaining 4 inches that's left over on the paper. And then I'm just going to kind of scatter the photos and the stars wherever I think it looks good, like to the eye. It was a little tricky. I didn't want all the photos in one column or in one row, if you will, of the grid that's created by those green leaves, right? So I was kind of trying to spread out, like, here's some photos, here's some stars. I didn't want plastic stars next to plastic stars, and I didn't want, all the same type of photo with each other. So I tried to spread it out, and then I squeezed my journaling onto the tiniest 2x2 inch square of sticker paper with like the smallest font ever. So it's very hard to read, but I'll read it for you, because good luck trying to read it on camera. Even in person, I feel like you might even need a magnifying glass. I think I shrunk it down to 6. Now, in retrospect, I could have split it up over 2 squares, but I don't know why I didn't just do that to begin with. I guess I was kind of lazy and didn't feel like I could have retyped it out and split up the text over the journaling over 2 separate squares. But I don't know. I liked the way that it looked, and I didn't want to have to figure out how to rearrange the photos and the embellishments again. So you can see I kind of already laid it out. Nothing is adhered down. I'm just using either red line tape or double-sided tape to stick the stars down depending on the material. I find that redline tape works great all the time. It's very sticky, and then the double-sided tape isn't quite as sticky, so I used that on the plastic stars. So we were there, we left, well, I'll read you the journaling, that way it makes sense. So the journaling says, more cousin time. Christmas night, we packed up the car again and drove from ER to GR, which are abbreviations for the cities that we were in Michigan, to stay with Kit, Tully, Sutton, and TJ. We spent the next couple of days in pajamas, eating all the snacks and just enjoying being together. You love being the older cousin and played with Sutton so well. She loves you so much, she asked you to read to her, play dress up, and Sackboy on the PS5 together. TJ warmed up to you right away, and you doted on him like a little mama. It warmed my heart to watch you with them. Luckily, we planned a summer trip with them already. We stayed with them for 3 days, and by the last day, you were dreading leaving them, but you were also ready to have your own space. Grateful for these merry memories. So that's the journaling. And as I was reading the journaling, you can see it's just a matter of me taping down photos and taping down stars. And I did use some of that gel glue for the wood star. I thought about stitching it and adding it on, but then I thought, no, then I'm going to have to add stitching in other places, not just around the one star. So I just was lazy and glued it on. And so like going up to story 31 is kind of a lot. So sometimes I have to like, it's almost like picking and choosing your battles, like, do you want to be extra in this way or do you want to be extra in this way? And for me, I was like, I think I'll be extra in like the star embellishments and all that, but I'm not gonna break out my embroidery thread. I did think about it. You can see it over on the right side of the screen. But I am breaking the news to you now. I did not use it. The numbers came from the Advent sticker kit this year, the red foiled numbers. They're so pretty and they were the perfect size. And since I'm sticking with basically just red embellishments, I think it's perfect. Now, I did decide, and I didn't do this before when I was pre-planning, I hadn't come up with this idea, but I decided that it needed to have pieces of the stars in the smaller open spaces. So you can see what I mean. I'm filling in just like at the top of the page, there's just the bottom 2 points of the star sticking down. I decide that I need to fill in all of those negative spaces with star bits because I just didn't like the way it looked blank. So I went back in my stash and pulled out another wood veneer star and another plastic star that says Santa in gold writing. And then I also used this set of chipboard pieces from, I think it's Vicky Bouton's Where To Next collection. It's a travel collection she came out with like a year or two ago. And I have all these chipboard pieces. I have hardly used any of them. I used some of them in my Disney album, but I knew I had a white star. And so I was like, ooh, I can color that red with a paint marker. So I pulled out my Posca pen and I just colored over the white with the red paint pen, let it dry. And then I trimmed it down and used some of the points from that colored in chipboard star to be the filler pieces, if you will. Because I had pre-planned where I wanted everything to go, this did come together pretty quickly. I found that the wood veneer stars were fairly easy to cut with my Tim Holtz scissors. Those scissors are more heavy duty. I'm not sure that I would have used my regular Fiskar scissors to try to cut through the wood. You could maybe also use like a X-Acto knife if you had like a cutting board underneath it or something. And then you're just going to see me placing the pieces of that Posca painted chipboard star in those negative spaces. When I realized that I still need to go in and find another star to complete all those negative spaces, that's when I'm going to go back into my plastic star stash and settle on the Santa with the gold. It is a bit of a deeper shade of red. It wasn't very like bright red like the rest of the stars, but I think since it's just on the outskirts of the page, it's not super noticeable or distracting. I think it's totally fine. I probably could have added more shades of red, but I was just sticking to this cherry red color. I think because of the little berries that are in between the leaves on the page. Alrighty, so I added some double-sided tape to the back of story 25, and then I am going to adhere that 4 by 8 inch piece of pattern paper on there. And then I wanted to add some trim to the edge just to kind of finish it off a little bit, and I settled on this rickrack ribbon that I had. I ordered a whole pack off Amazon. And then to adhere it down, I thought, oh, I'll use double-sided tape. And then I was like, no, that's not going to work. That's going to be a pain in the butt. So I ended up using that gel glue again, which worked just fine. And then once that's down, I'm like, I need to give it a title. So let me put a title in this corner or on this edge. So I use these big red puffy alpha from Ali Edwards. I think it's probably from a year or two ago from one of the advent calendars, or it was an add-on item. I'm not sure. So I ended up spelling out cousin, and I didn't have an N because I've used the N in my Advent story for Nora, but I trimmed down the W, and even though like it looks like an italics N, it works. And the last thing I do is add a green heart to complete the title, which is supposed to read Cousin Love. Even though it just says cousin with alphas, I think adding the green puffy heart sticker, which is from the Advent sticker kit, makes the perfect finishing touch, and it is the only green embellishment on this story, so I love the end result. Here is a close-up of the finished story, and then we are going to move on to story number 27. So story 27 is about more Merry cousin time, because the next day we decided to get out of the house and took the kiddos, not Kit because Kit had to work, but Tully brought the two kids and met us at the Children's Museum, and we took our car with Nora. And that was what we did after nap time. We all went to the museum. It was super fun. We thought it might be a little bit young for Nora, but she ended up having such a great time. I knew, again, that I was going to have a lot of photos from this outing, and I did. And so I was going to use the 12 slot that had the 2x2 squares for the page protector that I wanted to use for this story. And I completely scrap lifted the idea for creating the left side of the page from Allie Edwards herself. She used the Mary paper, which is probably one of my favorite papers in this release this year, and then used the colorful wheel sticker that came in the Advent calendar sticker kit. And I knew I wanted to copy that idea and just make it my own. So that's what I'm going to do. This one, again, comes together super quick, which is why I combined 26 and 27. So I decided that I would layer the circles like she did. However, I decided to use this pocket with the peach grid pattern, and it's already got a vellum stitched pocket on it. I thought, but I totally forgot about these because I was going to stitch my own pocket, and then I was like, wait a minute, I think I have some circles with vellum pockets, and I can't remember what story kit it's from, but it's definitely from a previous story kit. And then I took the sticker and I only cut off half of the backing so that half of it wouldn't be sticky, because I'm going to have a photo that slides in and out, and journaling that slides in and out of behind that big puffy sticker. So hopefully that makes sense. I only kept the adhesive on the bottom half of the color wheel sticker so that it would stick to the outside of the vellum pocket, but then not stick to the photo that's going to go behind it, which I'm going to punch out with my 3-inch circle punch, and then adhere it to the front of this gold circle, this die cut circle. And then on the back is where I'm going to add my journaling. So the front is my favorite photo of Nora and Sutton inside this giant bubble. And I kept it really simple. I just put 3 puffy hearts and then a word phrase sticker that says thankful. And then I added the really thin red velvet ribbon I have from Michaels to create a little pull tab. And then on the back, I stuck the journaling, which just says, our favorite part of our time spent at the museum was when you pulled the life-size bubble mechanism to envelop you and Sutton inside. I can't believe I managed to snap such an amazing photo of this moment. And then to add just a little bit more to it, I will add some of the washi tape, the color block washi tape, to just add a little bit of something on the back. And then the 27 actually is an old, it's from my stash. It's from Paper Person Shop, so they're no longer available, but I had them and decided it would stick out really nicely on that colorful sticker background. And that's really it for the left side. On the right, I already had all my photos and the little plastic scallop squares pre-selected. I chose to use all of the ones that had the same exact colors in this brightly colored pattern paper and the sticker on the sticker wheel there, if that's what you want to call it. So I had pre-selected those, and I knew I wasn't going to add journaling to the front. I really just wanted this to be about a visual effect. So on the front of those scalloped die cuts, I added 3 puffy hearts on each one. There's the first one is going to have pink puffy hearts. The second one's going to have red. The third one has like a reddish orange, and then the last one has green. And then the middle square just has the words on it already that says make some merry. So I didn't do anything to that other than add the little velvet trim. So that's what I do. I'm going to add the velvet trim. If I had known that that was going to happen, I wouldn't have attach it with my tiny attacher, because now and I don't do you can't even anything else at all what they are. But that's and then okay. On the back side, so I'll read you the journaling story. I wrote quite a bit. Photos, I said Thursday we took you, your cousins, and Tully to the Children's Museum. I didn't realize my journaling was going to cover off the acetate you said you wanted or the plastic scallop squares I had pre-selected, kept trying to make wheels spin around it. There was also a special Eric Carle exhibit, which is ironic since we've never brought you to the Eric Carle Museum that's about an hour from our home. You and Sutton liked the interactive wall covered in illustrations that when you touched, lit up and made noises. Pretty neat. I didn't get a photo, but you also were really drawn to the dentist area. You pretended to floss teeth, look at x-rays for cavities, and even used a giant toothbrush to clean an oversized mouth. Now, if only we can get you to be that excited about doing that at home. We went upstairs and you were instantly drawn to the bubble area. You spent most of our time there making really huge bubbles using various tools that were sitting in giant metal tubs full of soapy water. I'll admit, I really enjoyed myself also. And then the last one says, after we left the museum, we walked over to the boba shop where Sutton tried her first bubble tea drink. She wasn't a big fan, preferring the drink without the popping boba. Then we picked up pizzas for everyone on the way back to Kit and Tully's house. You ended the night playing Rabbids on the PS5 with all the adults, minus me, who doesn't really care for video games. And so that is a summation of our day and our outing. And all the journaling is adhered there, and all the photos are there. And I didn't add a single embellishment to any of the photos, which I love. The photos, I think it's busy enough with all the colors going on. I am going to edit out quite a bit of this because it's literally just me putting the velvet trim through the hole and then stapling it to the acetate. I'm just going to finish up embellishing the fronts of these scalloped squares, and then off camera I'm going to attach all of the journaling to the backs. And that is literally it for this story. It came together really quickly. Like I said, the biggest part was picking and choosing where I wanted each of these die cuts to go. So that was like the hardest part. But other than that, I knew I just wanted to add some hearts, and that was basically it. So you could see the close-ups of the finished pocket page, all the photos. There's the Eric Carle Museum part, and then the bubbles, and then Nora pretending to be a cashier at the bank, getting boba, all the things. And then here we go to a close-up of how story number 27 looks all together. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not, and hit the bell so you don't miss my content. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, friends. Remember that you are enough. Bye.